So I wanted to give some quick thoughts about Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, having finished it twice now, and I'll try to keep this bit spoiler free. If I am going to throw out a spoiler, I will very much warn you. So if I say that there is going to be a spoiler, then there is going to be a spoiler. But to be honest, there isn't much to spoil in this game. Let me start by saying I have played these type of games since X-Men Legends. I loved X-Men Legends. X-Men Legends. I still have it, and I still play it every so often. But then we moved on to Marvel Ultimate Alliance, the first one, which wasn't really that great. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2, which is one of my favorites. It dealt with Civil War, and it was very good. I very much recommend Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2. Now, 3 is a little bit of a mixed bag. Like, I really do like 3. I do like it. If you want the short and simpleness of it, it's just very much a good game. It's just solid. It's good. But there's certain elements that I feel that are really lacking, or just like this game feels really shallow. It feels almost like it was the shell of the idea, but the meat isn't really in it. You know what I mean? So let me start off by saying that there are a lot of characters. I believe there's 36 characters. They're adding more. There's DLC, and there's also going to be free characters in future updates and such. But I very rarely... I've tried every character, and it's hard to say. I've tried every character, and it's very hard to say that they each play very differently. But, like, I get it. You know, there's certain movesets, like each character has perhaps an AoE attack, they have a charge attack, they have a buff, they have like some type of barrage attack of some sort. Like, there's very much characters fall into certain, their moves fall into very certain categories, like AoE, energy, melee, mash the button, don't mash the button, big area of attack, AoE, and such like that. And I very much just stuck with these 4 characters. I mostly stuck with Venom, Wolverine, Scarlet Witch, and at the moment I would switch her out, Psylocke or Spider-Gwen. I would switch them out. But I don't know, the main, like the Avengers, like Iron Man, Thor, Captain Marvel, Captain America, they felt so vanilla. They didn't feel very, like, a lot of thought was put into their skill set. It very much felt like it was put more so into the other characters, like Elsa Bloodstone, it put into Venom, put into Psylocke. Like, the lesser known characters have more interesting skill sets and such. Hulk and Thor and Hawkeye and Black Widow, they all just feel very vanilla. They feel very, like, he shoots his bow, she shoots out lightning, Hulk smashes, he claps. Like, I mean, there's not really a lot to do with those characters. And, admittedly, I get that because, they're not as wacky as some of the other characters in Marvel. Same could be said for the Guardians of the Galaxy. They are just the Guardians of the Galaxy. Their movesets didn't feel any, like, different. They didn't feel super extraordinary. They felt very much just like they're the Guardians of the Galaxy. But let me say that this game looks great. It very much looks great. Everyone gives off a comic book feel. It doesn't try to be, like, hyper realistic at all. All the character models look amazing. Same can't be said for the worlds, though. I'll be honest, the worlds, they get their job done. You progress through the worlds, and you very much just go through there, fight a boss, and then leave. There's not very much, at least for me, there wasn't very much detail, or it didn't feel very fleshed out, the world. There is a part in Asgard where you fight Surtur, and you fight him on the Rainbow Bridge, and that Rainbow Bridge did not look hot in this game. It did not look great. It's a very, very big eyesore, I would say. But let me tell you a little bit about the gameplay, right? Okay, so in this iteration of Ultimate Alliance, you have, your light attacks, your heavy attacks, and you have your skills. And you have a second type of skill called synergy skills, which, if you've played any of the X-Men games or the previous Ultimate Alliance games, it's the combos. Remember in X-Men Legends when you would do a combo and the announcer would go combo, and it was super cool? They don't really have that. The characters just say something and there's this big yellow flash. And it's just combat's fine. Combat is your basic beat 'em up. It's just light. You combo light and heavies. You combo your moves together when you have the energy points for it. There is the inclusion of ISO, which is augments, which is kind of your gear. You can also do this giant hexagon level up system where they show, like +2 vitality, +2 mastery, +2 energy, +2 strength, and such like that. And you fill out this giant web of upgrades, and it does its job. It's just like your basic team builder. One criticism I will say, but I get why they did this, is that when you pick your characters, the people in your party are the only people gaining experience. Meaning that, say Spider-Man, who you get very early on in the game, he is going to be stuck at level 6 or something. Like, I think he's at 6. He's going to be stuck at level 6 unless you play as him. But it's kind of difficult when you get further into story and you are in level 30s and 40s and he's stuck still at 6. They have these XP cubes that you can feed to them, but I don't nearly have enough to give to all my low-level characters, so I'm just going to have to, I guess, play through the story again, but with my low-level characters, and then bring them back up. And you're saying, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Rambling Brother, they obviously have a way to grind XP cubes, and they do. They come in the form of these infinity rifts, and they're basically trials, and you get, you get your 3 stars. If you get 3 stars, you get all the rewards. Get enough stars, you unlock alternative costumes. And I should put that lightly, they are not alternative costumes. They are recolors of characters. And I saw that they are going to be adding actual alternative costumes, not just recolors, because I have unlocked a few of them, and they're just recolors. Some of them look really lame, and some of them look okay. But anyways, let's get down to the business. I'm going to spoil a little bit of the story here, but I'm going to tell you that you really aren't going to be going into this game for the spoilers. This game is very much just about gameplay. Very solid gameplay. If you like gameplay and you like fun games, I very highly recommend this. Play with friends, play with people online. Playing by yourself is okay, but the AI isn't necessarily the best. But, computers can only do so much. But with this game, the story is very simple. There's the Infinity Stones. You have the Avengers going from boss to boss to boss, collecting these Infinity Stones. The Black Order shows up. Black Order ends up getting the stones. You have to fight the Black Order again. You end up meeting Thane, who is Thanos' son. If you've ever seen him in the comics, or you do deep web wiki dives like I do, and you meet Thane, and it's very obvious, right? It's very obvious that Thane is going to be the main villain, and surprise, surprise, he is. You do end up fighting Thanos. You do end up unlocking Thanos. You do end up unlocking other villains that you have to do through the trials, but very much you fight Thanos, you beat him, and then Thane ends up summoning the Infinity Armor, and he uses the Infinity Gauntlets, and he is a really, really hard boss fight. Like, I cannot tell you how hard he was. He's really, really difficult. That's one thing about this game that I found a little weird, is that the difficulty spikes that just apparently happen, like they just happen. The first one that we ran into, the Rambling Brothers, we ran into when you fought Dormammu. He was just, for some reason, really, really difficult. And we had to try him like 3 or so times, and we just got lucky in the sense that, and granted, I guess we could have grinded. We weren't really grinding as much. We were just trying to push through the story. And we could have probably grinded out a few Infinity Trials to get some more material to level up, to get better ISO. That is the thing I will say. Constantly be leveling up your characters, constantly be equipping new ISO, constantly upgrade the giant hexagon skill thing. I very much recommend that you do that, because otherwise you will get stomped. This game is pretty hard, and when you beat the game, you unlock even harder difficulty. That's pretty cool too. On my second playthrough, I ended up doing it solo because I just wanted to rush through it, play it again. It's a very fun game. And I will say, if you skip the cutscenes in this game is very much like a 6 to 7 hour game. I realize that the cutscenes, on your initial playthrough, you will watch the cutscenes and it extends the length of the game. But if you skip through the cutscenes, it's a very, very short game, which is kind of a con to me, because it's like, if the story mode isn't very long and the Infinity Trials get rather repetitive because you're just constantly doing them over and over, the gameplay can be as fun as it can be, but it's still kind of a little lackluster because the story isn't very long. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2 story, I feel, was a bit longer. Granted, I haven't replayed it, so forgive me if you have replayed it and you disagree. Let me know. I do very much enjoy all the characters in this, but like I said, some of the characters are very vanilla in their kit. They're very boring. There are some really interesting characters in this that I can very much highly recommend. Interesting teams to build. You get bonuses off of what teams you have. They're going to be adding more characters. I have a feeling that they're not just going to leave this game just like by itself how it is now. They obviously have shown that they are going to be adding more content. So who knows, maybe they'll add free chapters to the story. Maybe they'll add free new Infinity Trials. I know that they're going to be adding paid characters, but who knows, maybe those paid characters will really change the game. They'll have interesting kits and interesting movesets and such. I don't really know. I can't be for certain. But for right now, I would say this game is good. It is just good. It's not necessarily great, but it's very much a good game. You'll have fun playing it, either with friends or by yourself. I can recommend both ways. Rambling Brother approved. Good job, Nintendo, bringing back Marvel Ultimate Alliance. I hope there is another one where, major spoilers, at the very, very end, it is shown that rifts are opening. So who knows, maybe they'll do another one where they have the multiverse versions of, like, Spider-Man, Captain America, of Iron Man, of such. Like, you could see Riri, you could see I guess Miles Morales is already in this game, so they already have a teaser of multiple dimensions. But who knows, maybe they'll have multiple dimensions versions like female Thor and such to be brought into the Marvel Ultimate Alliance 4, where it's like a multiverse, and you can have a bigger vast of characters. I would very much recommend that. But yeah, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, solid game, good gameplay. Feels a little shallow, but you could definitely see yourself putting hours into it. But all the content does get a little stale. It's still good. Again, Rambling Brother approved. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a great day. Check the links in the description and subscribe for future rambles.